guys, this is where the fun begins. We're going to learn in this video how to cut our linoleum block. So what you're going to need today for this activity is your lino block, which you have already transferred your sketch, and you're going to need a linoleum gouge, which looks like this. All right, so the first thing that we're going to need to do is we're going to need to decide what we're going to carve. Are we going to carve the black areas? Or are we going to carve the white areas? Remember, the areas that you're carving down will stay the white of the paper, and the areas that you leave will be inked, and that was what will be printed. Let me show you an example of a large block that I did. Here's a very large printing block, and you'll have the option of creating something this large if you choose when we start our final projects. So take a look anywhere where I've carved down that will not get ink, and anywhere that is raised, remember this is called relief printing, that will get ink. Remember, your block is not your artwork. You will ink your block and you will print it. So as you can see here, I have my carved block and here is my print. Anywhere that is raised is black, as you can see, and anywhere that is carved in stays the white of the paper. Okay, once you've determined if you're going to carve the white areas or the black areas, it's time to start carving. As I mentioned earlier, this is called a linoleum gouge. This is very sharp, and I'm going to go over a few safety instructions with you now. Right? There is a blade at the end of this, as you can see here, and it will take a chunk out of your skin. So you need to be very careful with that. These blades come in a variety of sizes. You can find the other size blades in the linoleum gouge if you take off the bottom. Okay? You'll find that there are several different sizes of blades here, depending on what you're cutting. So if you're cutting something with a very small detailed area like these lines, you're going to want a very small end on your linoleum gouge. If you're creating wider areas, you'll want a wider one. Okay? The way you change the blade here is this metal part unscrews. Okay? In a counterclockwise position, you will remove it. And as you can see here, let's see what I want to put in. It's hard to see, but this creates an opening here where that blade can go right in, and then you want to turn clockwise in order to secure it. Turn really tight and make sure it's tight in there and it's not loose and will not fall out. So that is how you change the blade on your linoleum gouge. All right, now it's time to cut. All right, the way that you use the linoleum gouge, I want you to think of it as like you're scooping snow or sand. It's like a shovel. Okay, this is how you hold it, similar to a pencil. Okay, it will not work if you hold it upside down like this. Nothing will happen. Okay, so it's like this, and you're like scooping linoleum off of your block. Okay, so a couple important things to remember when you're carving your block. Number one is you never want your hand in the line of fire while you're carving. So if I'm carving my block and I slip, I don't want to slip and hit my hand. So you never want your hand in the line of fire of your carving. You always want your hands back here behind, so if you slip, you're just going into the air. Okay, so let's take a look at how we carve here. Again, I've determined that I am going to carve away my black areas here. Okay, so it's very simple. You just press down, the block is soft, and you scoop, and that part comes out. Okay, so I'm going to carve away any of my black areas here. All right, when you are finished carving your block, make sure that you put any of the blades that you took out of your linoleum gouge back into the bottom, secure the bottom, and then any scraps that you have, use the dustpans to sweep them up, and those go into the trash can, not onto the floor, into the trash can.